I will now call this regular meeting of the Coralville City Council to order. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Knutson.
Here.
Gross.
Here.
Quinn.
Here.
Jones.
Here.
Goodrich.
Here.
All council members are present, as is the mayor, the city clerk, the city attorney, the city administrator, and several other staff in the audience. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Goodrich, seconded by Jones. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The agenda is approved. Next item on the agenda, I have a certificate of appreciation for Pancheros Mexican Grill for their significant contributions to the community. Whereas, as part of celebrating its 150-year history of a rich history and bright future, the City of Coralville recognizes and values the dedication, commitment, and entrepreneurial spirit within our community. Local businesses keep our community, the state, and the American economy vibrant and strong. And whereas it is without question, Pancheros Mexican Grill exemplifies the spirit of local businesses throughout the Coralville community. And whereas Rodney and Laura Anderson moved to Coralville shortly after Rodney opened the first Pancheros located near the University of Iowa in the middle of Iowa City in 1992. And whereas for over 31 years now, Rodney and his dedicated staff at Pancheros have partnered with various local schools and organizations. And whereas in that time, a Coralville location opened, and Pancheros has become one of the most popular Mexican fast casual concepts in the Midwest. And under Rodney's leadership, Pancheros has proven the business model in over 73 locations in 13 states. And whereas innovative, fresh pressed tortillas and delicious burritos have created the Bob the Tool, are exclusively unique to Pancheros. And whereas Pancheros Support Center headquarters is located at 2475 Coral Court B in Coralville, and employs 20 individuals to help support the restaurant's accounting, marketing, design, and construction, and operational needs throughout the country. Now therefore, having chosen to call Coralville home, the City of Coralville wishes to recognize Rodney and Laura Anderson, founders of Pancheros Mexican Grill, for their success and dedication to the citizens of Coralville and the surrounding communities. Signed on this 10th day of October 2023, Megan Foster, Mayor. Okay, this is very exciting, and we have some folks that are here to speak to us tonight to accept this certificate of appreciation.
Thank you, Megan. Rodney Anderson, founder of Pancheros. We are very happy to be recognized by the City of Coralville tonight, and we are proud to be in Iowa and a Coralville-based company and consider the community to be a large part of our success. As you stated, we started in downtown Iowa City in 1992, and in 1994, my wife and I moved to our first home in Coralville, actually next to Lori, sent our kids to grade school at Wickham with Mike's girls, and then on to West High to be taught and coached by Mitch. So we had 3 kids who came through the school system here and have all graduated. As you mentioned, in 2004, we moved our corporate office to Coralville, and we also opened our Coralville restaurant that year. Over the years, we have expanded the office and also purchased the building that we are in, and we do all of our corporate and franchisee support from that Coralville office. We have 73 restaurants in 13 states, and we have grown to about 25 employees. We have operations staff, accounting and administration, advertising, design and construction, franchise sales, et cetera, all based in Coralville. Many of our employees are Coralville residents, and most everyone is from eastern Iowa. Coralville has been our home for over 30 years, and we plan to stay here, and we are very proud to be part of the community. Thanks again for the recognition.
Thank you very much. And as I said before the meeting, I I think that some of your success is due in large part to the teenagers that live in my house, and probably DoorDash, Poncheros at least once a week, if not more. So we certainly appreciate you and are grateful to have you as part of the community. Would you like to take a photo? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Where'd you find that?
It's a real song.
What's that?
It's a real song.
Oh.
I just played it. All right. We'll play it.
I like that. Everybody wants to use it. I think
It's a real song, yeah. It's a one-hit wonder. You should do it, Megan. Do the move.
All right, thank you. Very good, yes.
I don't think Karen's set up to have a video.
Yeah. Rodney, am I the only person that's ever come to the corporate headquarters thinking it's a restaurant? Okay, thank you. Thank you. I did that once. Ooh,
Thank you.
not fun.
Tell Laura hi.
Okay, we have another proclamation this evening. This one is for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and I cried when I read this one last year. Hopefully, I can get through it without tears tonight. Okay. Whereas domestic abuse, dating abuse, and stalking affects women, children, and men of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds, causing long-term physical, psychological, and emotional harm. Whereas 1 in 3 Americans has witnessed an incident of domestic violence, and whereas children who experience domestic abuse are at a high risk for failure in school, mental illness, substance abuse, suicide, and may choose violence as a way to solve problems. And whereas domestic abuse in rural communities exists as a hidden, silent, and often unrecognized crime that is often underreported. And whereas through the inspiration, courage, and persistence of victims of domestic abuse, their children, and advocates, our communities are learning to recognize the impact of violence in the home and within intimate relationships. And whereas the Domestic Violence Intervention Program has worked to end violence and abuse in intimate relationships for more than 43 years. Through the collaborative partnerships of advocates, volunteers, local municipalities, criminal justice, health and human services, faith communities, business leaders, and private citizens. And whereas our community's achievements should be commended, we must continue our commitment to respect and support victims of domestic abuse and to prevent future violence in our community. Now therefore, I, Megan Foster, Mayor of the City of Coralville, do hereby proclaim the month of October 2023 to be Domestic Violence Awareness Month in the City of Coralville. And we urge all people to work together to eliminate domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking from our community. Signed on this 10th day of October 2022, Megan Foster, Mayor. Okay, so I used to work for this organization, and I have to tell you, the people, the advocates, all of the individuals that work every single day to address this serious issue in our community are some of the most amazing people that I've met. And we have one of those folks here tonight, Melissa Russell, the development coordinator for the Domestic Violence Intervention Program, and she's going to say a few words for us.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Melissa Russell. I'm with the Domestic Violence Intervention Program. I just want to take a few moments to thank you for your support over the years. We've been in this community for over 43 years. We serve 8 counties in Iowa from this area to down south, we go everywhere. And we couldn't do it without the continued support of cities, of counties, of businesses, of volunteers, kind of as Megan has kind of explained to us, has explained. So I just want to take that moment to thank you all for your continued support. I also wanted to give you have the stats sheet in front of you, but I just wanted to highlight really, really quick that this year we've served 2,452 people in our 8-county region. In Coralville, 261 individuals have been served. This is a 38% increase from last year. That's a little bit alarming. So that is a concerning number, but it also indicates that we're reaching the places we need to reach. So that's the positive side of that. This is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and so we do have some activities coming up. The biggest in-kind activity we have is this Saturday. It's Shop for Shelter. At Shop for Shelter, in the Coralville, Iowa City area, we gather materials that help outfit our shelter for the next 9 months. Saturday, October 14th, from 9 to 2. So stop by, pick up a couple items, drop it in the cart, gift cards, most wanted items, non-perishable items. We greatly, greatly appreciate your support. Okay, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Melissa. I will say, I will miss working Shop for Shelter this year. It's quite a sight, you know, when you see all of the goods stacked up, so many that, you know, we almost run out of space and run out of room. But those goods do provide months, almost a year's worth of relief for the individuals that are staying in the shelter. So be sure to check that out this Saturday. Okay? Yeah, you bet, always.
This one does not have a theme song.
What's that?
This one does not have a theme song.
I hope not.
Yeah.
Probably more than a few songs about this topic.
Yeah.
May not want to play them.
No song.
Good to see you, Melissa.
Okay. Item number 4, community comments. This is the time for community members to speak to us about items that aren't on the agenda or items that are on the agenda but are not subject to a public hearing. Each speaker will have 5 minutes, and we do reserve the right to adjust both the individual speaking time and the overall comment period based on the number of speakers or any accommodations that a speaker might need. So is there anyone that would like to address us this evening? Okay. Then we will move on to number 7, lease agreement. This is a public hearing for a lease agreement that will allow Sprintcom LLC to continue using the Heartland Water Tower for a telecommunications facility for the next 20 years. This would increase the rent from $300 per month to $1,500 per month with a 10% increase every 5 years. So I'll now open the public hearing. Is there anyone that would like to speak to us? Do we have any written comments?
No written.
Okay, I'll close the public hearing and we'll consider the resolution.
Resolution approving a lease agreement with Sprintcom LLC for equipment at the Heartland Water Tower is introduced for adoption by Councilmember Knudsen, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Wynn. Any questions or comments on this item? Okay.
Could
I have-
we?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lori.
Well, is it okay if, for those who might be interested in this, it's quite a jump? Maybe Kevin, do you want to?
Yeah, I mean,
tell
obviously,
why.
this one started in 1996 at $300. I don't know what
$300 in today's money is at this point. But this matches the amount we get from Verizon on the main water tower. So we basically are raising them up to what we're getting on the other water tower. And there is actually another company that wants to put a antenna on this water tower too. So we obviously told them they would have to pay the same amount of rent. So we're kind of working with them on that now. So we may see another one of these come to us in the near future. So
Is there any limit to how many you can put on a water tower?
the only thing is that the only thing in the lease is and basically make sure they don't interfere with each other. So that would be the only. They have an antenna and then each of them have like a small building on the ground. So obviously there'd be some space issues. Then obviously we have to make sure we can get our equipment
There
into.
would be a limit, I mean, because there's an actual facility on top of the tower that they attach to, and so at some point, they would interfere with each other.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Gross. Aye. Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knudsen.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Number 8, Iowa River Landing License Agreement. This license agreement is for 920 East 2nd Avenue, Suite 160. This is the former site of Skin, Body, and Soul. This lease would run from November 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023. Could I have the resolution, please?
Resolution approving a license agreement with Benito's Flowers and Gifts LLC, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Gross, seconded by.
Second?
Seconded by Jones. Any comments or discussion?
They just want to lease it for 2 months.
It's holiday season.
Yeah, this is for holiday season to use. We had a finished empty space that they could use, so yeah, this will be for the holiday.
All right. Anything else? All right, roll call, please.
Councilmember Quinn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knudsen.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Number 9, Development Agreement Amendment. This would amend the development agreement with ArenaCo to include obligations for the Green State Family Fieldhouse to comply with regulations for recently issued tax-exempt bonds. Could I have that resolution?
Resolution approving an amendment to the development agreement with Arinco, introduced for adoption by Councilmember Wynn, seconded by.
Second?
Seconded by Gross. Questions or comments?
Yeah, just, this follows up with all of the actions you've taken yet this fall. We'll be closing on the field house next Monday, so that we'll actually own it versus lease it. And it does result in several $100,000 less in annual expenditures. At the time when the field house was developed, we had a limit to the amount of resources we could develop for the whole facility. And so the Hodge Group was willing to step forward, and they owned it and leased it to us during that time period. Now we have the capacity, and so can actually purchase it versus lease the facility.
And I would just emphasize the savings
Yeah.
that exist from the purchase versus the lease.
Yeah, and that would have continued to increase over years because there were bumps in the lease. I think it was every 5 years, something like that.
And the purchase price would have went up like $750,000 if we didn't close on it this year, because it was set up to make sure that they didn't want to own it long-term, so.
You said capacity, Kelly. Can you explain that?
The city debt capacity, there was a limit to how much.
Is that specific to TIF areas then?
No, that was overall, the overall capacity of the city.
Which is tied to our total budget somehow?
It's tied to our total valuation. And it's a
Total valuation.
percentage of our valuation. And so that increases.
So we were butting up against that
Yes.
before.
And that increases every year, obviously, because as our values increase, but we also pay off bonds, and so that provides capacity as well.
How close are we to it now after this?
Oh, Melissa, I don't remember the last time we looked, probably 90, yeah, right around 90, 92%.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Number 10, smoke-free places and tobacco and nicotine-free parks and trails. This is the second reading of an ordinance that would prohibit the use of all tobacco, vape, and nicotine products on all park grounds and facilities, excluding U.S. and Coralville waters and golf courses. Could I have the ordinance?
Ordinance number 2023-1013, an ordinance amending Chapter 43 of the Coralville Code of Ordinances of the City of Coralville as previously amended, incorporating tobacco and nicotine-free parks, open spaces, and trails within the city, introduced for adoption, second consideration by Councilmember Jones, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Knutson. Any questions or comments? All right. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Ordinance passes its second consideration, all ayes. Number 11, Solid Waste Alternatives Program, or SWAP agreement. This agreement is for implementing single-stream curbside recycling collection and a new recycling public awareness campaign. This is something that I think a lot of our residents are going to be very excited about. So could I have that resolution, please?
Resolution approving a solid waste alternative program agreement with the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, introduced for adoption, Councilmember Goodrich, seconded by.
Second.
Seconded by Wynn. I just will just point out, because I'm certain there are a lot of people that might be interested in this. If the equipment stays on the current delivery schedule, we'll be looking at rolling this out and some implementation by April of 2024. Are there any other comments or questions on this item?
I guess I have a question, because we purchased one truck that we had to decide how it was going to be fitted. That was driving this decision in part. How many trucks do we need? Are we just going to retrofit the other one, or we have to?
We'll ultimately change those over too as we move forward, but we need to get one that we can obviously use right now.
So one's sufficient to get started? Okay, I didn't know that. Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilmember Goodrich.
Aye.
Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Resolution is approved, all ayes. Number 12, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Madam Mayor, I would like to ask council to consider motion to approve the consent calendar as presented, A to Q.
Moved by Wynn, could I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jones. Could I have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Knutson.
Aye.
Gross.
Aye.
Wynn.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Consent calendar is approved, all ayes. Number 13, City Administrator's Report.
Just appreciate our Coralville Fire Department, and they are in, this week is a Fire Prevention Week, and so they're working with the schools and daycares on fire safety education, and then last weekend had their open house, and we are very lucky to have some dedicated volunteers that provide service to our community, and we'll have some fully licensed firefighters going through all their process here very shortly, of some new officers. So we really appreciate all the efforts that they put into our department. So that's all I have, Mayor.
Great, thank you so much. Okay. Item 14, Mayor's Report. I have a few things. Just piggybacking off of what Kelly said, really enjoyed attending the open house at the fire station on Sunday. Always a great fall event. And I had my mom with me when we went on Sunday, and she had such a great time chatting with Chief Schweitzer, talking about all of the equipment and learning about, you know, how they do their jobs. So it was just a really great event, and really happy to have the opportunity to attend. I also wanted to note that yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day. It's a day where we can lift up the vibrant traditions of our Indigenous community members and friends. And it's also a day where we can reflect on the violence and the systemic oppression that continues to be a part of unfortunately, a part of the experience of many indigenous communities. Also wanted to acknowledge that the land that we now call Coralville today was inhabited by the sovereign nations of Meskwaki, Kickapoo, Iowa, among others. Melissa from DVIP mentioned Shop for Shelter. The Coralville Hy-Vees usually are very strong performers when we have that event. So it's a great opportunity when you're out shopping. You'll find DVIP volunteers and staff members at the entrances of the Hy-Vees. They'll give you a shopping list that has the top needs for the shelter. And then while you're doing your own grocery shopping, you can pick up 1 or 2 items. And those items really do make a difference in the lives of the victim survivors that are staying in the emergency shelter. So I hope you have the opportunity to participate in that event. And then I just wanted to say thank you again to the 150th committee, Lori Goodrich, our colleague, Stacy Hausman, the co-chairs of the committee have worked unbelievably hard over the last year, putting together all kinds of fantastic programming. I know Councilmember Jones was very involved in sharing Coralville's history. So I just wanted to acknowledge them again as we are kind of wrapping up our celebrations. We had a wonderful party last week, really well attended, very fun event. And while I have enjoyed the opportunity to celebrate Coralville's history over the last year, I am really eager to see what we have in store for our bright future. And that is all I have. City Attorney's report.
I have nothing additional.
For all your hockey fans, tomorrow night's Meet the Team night from 6:30 to 8 at the arena. So you can come and meet the team before they start. Their first game is on Friday, October 20th.
Fantastic.
Coming right up.
Another thing to look forward to. That's really great. Okay. Committee and council members report. We will start down at this end with Councilmember Knutson.
Thank you. I think that's twice in a row. Sorry, Lori.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't always remember. I just took a stab in the dark.
Well, I'll be quick. I want to apologize for missing the event last week that was coordinated in the arena for Coralville. I was, really struggled deciding because I was at Houses in the Home. So I'll give a quick report for that. The amount of money their fundraiser was at the Green State Credit Union. Last year they raised about $20,000. Their goal this year was $50,000, and I think they raised close to $80,000. So it was very successful, and I did not want to leave Rob with cleanup duties on his own. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Councilmember Gross.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things. First of all, I echo what you said about the committee and one of the best events I thought that I've ever been to at the arena. I love it when I go to events and I don't know who the folks are. So I think there's a whole new realm of people that were coming to enjoy our city. So kudos, Lori, to you and the entire committee of that. Wanted to also echo what the mayor said on Indigenous Peoples Day yesterday. The other thing, three other things I wanted to say. We had I think Iowa City CVB meeting. One of the things I'd asked for a few months, probably 5 or 6 months ago, as we as a council were taking a lot of complaints about the disruption of traffic and this or that in the IRL, I'd asked the CVB to put a monthly report together about what the economic impact is of their organization. And just September in the world of conventions and visitors is considered a slow month. So, but we still had over 1,100 visitors with an economic impact of about $705,000 to the Coralville economy that was increased. This coming month, October, is a big month. So this is where we'll have state volleyball is a big thing. Some of the other big events, the Iowa City and Coralville Disc Golf Classic will be happening. Female Elite Wrestling Tournaments, the Iowa State Police Association Conference, and the Big Ten Government Relations Conference as well. So the conferences are picking up. Some of the other just interesting conferences that have been signed. The the National Mustache and Facial Hair Conference will be making its way to Coralville. We'll see how that goes. I thought it was kind of funny. On back-to-back weekends, we're going to have one of the biggest motorcycle gangs coming in, and then after that, the Catholic Daughters of America. So we'll see how those two groups interact together. Who knows? On a personal note, I want to thank my colleagues in the city for sending flowers and the acts of sympathy on the death of my brother. It's really, really appreciated. It was so nice at the funeral home to see that. So I really, really appreciate that, and I appreciate everyone's patience with me not being here 2 weeks ago. And then lastly, and I did warn Ellen I would be bringing this up because this is one of my yearly fall things. I've often asked the question why we don't do leaf collection when Iowa City has been doing it. Now North Liberty is doing it. As I was doing some research, Iowa City, North Liberty, West Branch, Cedar Rapids, Burlington, Charles City, Cedar Falls, Waverly, Muscatine are just a few of them. I'd just like to have that discussion at some point. It's something I when I was knocking doors, I heard a lot. I hear yearly from folks, and I just think the news at North Liberty is now doing it. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I think it's a little odd when there's a contiguous group of cities doing something and we're the ones not doing it. So I just want to have that discussion about pros and cons of it.
You bet.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just have to say, if we can get the mustache people here, we have to be able to get a Star Trek convention, is all I'm saying. If we can get the mustache people.
It depends on the women's version category.
What? Jeez. All right. Councilmember Winton. On that note, we will shift gears.
I don't have much to report tonight, just that it's October, and Coralville Public Library is having a Teen Tauber, for the whole month of October. So we invite teen to go to the library and have a blind date with a book. So the librarian wrap up a bunch of books, put it on a display. Any teen can come in and just pick a book and go home and read and come back and give some feedback. I think it's a pretty fun way to read a mysterious book that someone picked out for you. I participate in a mystery reading blind date with a cookbook thing, and it was fun. So teen, get to your library, get a book. And then October 19 is the Paul Engler Award. And so it's part of the UNESCO City of Literature. And the city of Coralville always hosts the Paul Engler Award, and I'm excited for the recipient this year. I read through her bio and thing, and it's quite a list. I would encourage everyone to take some time out and come and listen to the author. And on the note of leaf collection, I do agree with you that, Mitch, that we should mirror some of the neighboring city on what they do. But I also would encourage folks to not collect the leaves and put it on the curb. Instead, you could just mow it over and leave it on your yard. That will compost and make fertilize for your yard, and also give insects and things a place to winterize. Just a note. So there's other way that we could slowly move toward offering leaf collection on the curb. Right now we don't have that, so maybe try this way. So that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Councilmember Jones.
A couple of things, Madam Mayor. First of all, I'd like to ask the city clerk if he's a member of the Mustache and Facial Hair Organization. No? Okay. Well, you'd probably qualify. I don't like to repeat things that have already been said, but I have to thank everybody involved in the 150th celebration that's gone on basically for the past year and culminated on October 1st. And I agree with what the mayor said, what Mitch said. What struck me about October 1st, not only I agree with what Mitch said, people that I'd never seen before, but the diversity of our community. It was a very diverse group of people, age-wise, culture-wise, and it was just a great event. And I thank Lori for her leadership and Stacy Hausman as well.
I also, I know some of us had the opportunity to attend last week a lunch and learn at the Altmeyer Family Park. And I assume that's where the Frisbee golf tournament is that you mentioned, yeah. Anyway, I just would encourage citizens, if you want to visit a beautiful place with a beautiful view of Coralville, this is the place. Don't go before 11 o'clock because it doesn't open till 11 because there's an agreement with the quarry that they blast in the morning. So they'll be done blasting by 11. The park opens and you can walk the park, and it's just a beautiful place. So, and it was wonderful to have 3 of the Altmeyer family there to talk to us. Bob and Elaine and Lois Altmeyer were there, and it was just a great event. And then I wanted to just tag on to what Hy said about the Paul Engel Award. City of Coralville does sponsor this award in terms of the cash prize that goes to the author, so appreciate what the city does there. And the Library Foundation sponsors the reception afterwards. So it starts at 7 on the 19th, open to the public. The author will present and we'll talk, and then there'll be a reception afterwards that's open to all citizens, and it's a free event, and it's a great event, as Hy said. So that's all I have, Madam Mayor.
Thank you so much. And Councilmember Goodrich.
Well, I just have to say I've enjoyed this year very much, and mostly because of the people that I got to work with and the volunteers and people who were so interested in Coralville, both the history and also the bright future. And I appreciate all the staff too, the Parks and Rec and the people here at City Hall, and also the library and all the people that made each of these events possible. A shout out to our videographer group too, and all the work that they've done throughout the year. I just really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that we're on year 151. I wanted to say that the Extreme Arena was a great place to have that last event, and I'm so glad that so many people came that maybe hadn't been there yet, and they can know that there's many more opportunities there. There's the ice is down now, so as Kevin mentioned, ice hockey will be going strong. There's volleyball, both high school and University of Iowa. The gymnastics will be there, and concerts. Foreigner is coming up this next week, and then also in the future, Mercy Me, and there's many other events in between. So check out their website and get your tickets soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Knutson. Can I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Wynn. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.